Ever wondered if the bird chirping outside your window is actually a government spy? Yep, that's a thing apparently. A conspiracy that's been flying around, if you pardon the pun, and it's quite the bird-brained idea. It's the notion that our feathered friends are not, in fact, creatures of nature, but sophisticated surveillance devices deployed by the government. Welcome to Conspiracy Theory Debunked. No tin hats required. This theory suggests that all birds in the United States were killed off by the government and replaced with drone replicas. These birds are now said to be spying on us daily, recording our conversations and reporting them back to the government. It's a theory that's ruffled some feathers, to say the least, and it's a step up from our previous exploration of lizard people living among us. Now, I'm not saying I believe this theory, but it does make you wonder. What if that pigeon in the park was recording your conversation about the latest episode of your favorite show? Or that sparrow was documenting your secret recipe for the best homemade pizza? It's a thought that could turn one's world upside down, or at least cause a few sleepless nights. So are the birds around us really government spies? Or is this just another conspiracy theory for the books? We'll dive into this in the rest of the video, but for now, why not take a moment to like this video if you're enjoying it so far? And in the comments, tell us the worst thing a bird has supposedly recorded you saying. Remember, the funnier, the better. We could all use a good laugh. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to our channel. You wouldn't want to miss out on our future explorations into the wild and wonderful world of conspiracy theories, would you? So sit back, grab your popcorn, and let's take a flight of fancy into the world of avian espionage. Imagine the secrets a pigeon could tell if only it could talk, or, not be a bird. So, what evidence do these theorists present, apart from an overabundance of breadcrumbs, of course? Well, let's dive right in, shall we? The first piece of supposed evidence is the peculiar habit birds have of perching on power lines. Theorists argue that this is not merely a casual roosting spot, oh no, but a covert charging station. Yes, you heard it right. They suggest these feathered friends are recharging their batteries quite literally after a long day of eavesdropping on our conversations. Now don't get me wrong, if I were a tiny robot bird, I'd probably choose a power line for a quick energy top-up too. But let's not forget, real birds are drawn to power lines for a variety of reasons, including the fact that they provide a great vantage point for spotting predators and prey. Plus, in the avian world, the highest perch is often a sign of dominance. So next time you see a bird perched up high, it might just be asserting its birdly authority, not recharging its secret spy gear. The second piece of so-called evidence is the omnipresence of birds in populated areas. Conspiracy theorists would have you believe that this is because they're deployed by governments to keep tabs on us. While it's true that many bird species do thrive in urban environments, it's not because they're on a covert mission. Rather, it's because we humans have inadvertently created bird-friendly habitats with our parks, gardens, and yes, even our crumbs. Now, onto the third piece of evidence, the supposed fact that we never see birds eating. Theorists argue that this is because they don't need sustenance like regular creatures. They're robots, after all. Well, I hate to burst this bubble, but birds do eat, and quite a lot actually. They need energy to fly, sing, and carry out their daily activities. We may not always see them chowing down because they often eat in safe, secluded spots. But rest assured, they are indeed eating. So the next time you see a bird pecking at the ground, it's probably just having lunch, not transmitting your secrets to a hidden control center. So there you have it, folks. The supposed evidence supporting the theory that birds are government spies. It's an entertaining thought, isn't it? But when you dig a little deeper, it's clear that these theories are based more on imagination than on fact. It seems our feathered friends are just that, friends, not foes. And you thought you had a busy day. Spare a thought for these feathered agents of espionage. Now let's look at the other side of the coin, or should we say the other side of the bird seed. Firstly, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the pigeon on the park bench. Birds eat. And they eat a lot. Anyone who's spent any time in a park will have seen ducks devouring breadcrumbs, pigeons pecking at chips, and seagulls swiping sandwiches right out of people's hands. If birds were mechanical drones, they'd have no need for such sustenance. It's almost as if they have metabolisms and digestive systems, much like other living organisms. Secondly, birds migrate. Every year, swallows fly thousands of miles to Africa and then back again to the UK. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a lot of unnecessary work for a surveillance device. Surely it'd be much more practical to have stationary cameras in every corner, right? But then again, who are we to question the wisdom of hypothetical government drone designers? And speaking of impracticality, let's consider the sheer number of birds in the world. Estimates suggest there are around 100 billion birds globally. That's 10 times the human population. Imagine the resources needed to manufacture, maintain, and control such a vast number of avian agents. It just doesn't add up, does it? But before we flutter away from this topic, let's take a moment to remember our previous videos. Remember when we talked about lizard people living among us and the Earth being flat? Well, as much as we'd love to believe that our world is a fascinating blend of a David Attenborough documentary and a James Bond movie, the evidence simply doesn't support these theories. And on that note, why not share a playlist or two of our videos, so the analytics of the channel don't fall off the edge of the Earth. We promise no birds were harmed or hacked in the making of these videos. Lastly, let's not overlook the emotional side of things. Birds have been a part of human culture and folklore for centuries. They've been symbols of peace, messengers of the gods, and even guides to the afterlife. If birds were merely government drones, then all these stories, these beautiful myths and legends, would be based on a lie. And that's a pill harder to swallow than a seagull gobbling up your seaside chips. So, unless our feathered friends have mastered the art of deception along with flight, it seems this theory doesn't quite take off. It's a fun idea, sure, but until we see a pigeon charging at a power socket or a sparrow downloading software updates, we'll stick with the notion that birds are, well, just birds. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most wonderful conspiracy of all. So, are birds secret government spies or just really good at playing I Spy? Now, that's a question to ruffle some feathers. We spent the better part of this video diving deep into the world of our feathered friends. Or should we say, our supposed government spies. From the theory's origin to the evidence that supports it, it's been quite a flight. We've seen claims of bird-like drones and even the notion that every bird was replaced by a government surveillance device during the birdemic of 1989. Let's not forget the supposed proof in the form of fallen drones disguised as birds, and the eerie silence of our feathered friends during government shutdowns. It's all a bit Hitchcockian, isn't it? But alas, we've also seen how these claims, as entertaining as they are, don't quite hold up under scrutiny. From the sheer impracticality of replacing billions of birds with surveillance devices, to the fact that, well, birds do continue to do bird things during government shutdowns, like flying south for the winter, or just generally carrying on with their birdie business. We've also explored how the technology to create such sophisticated avian automatons doesn't exist, yet. And let's not forget the astronomical cost of such an endeavor. It's enough to make a fiscal hawk squawk. So where does that leave us? Well, while it's been a hoot exploring this theory, it's safe to say that birds, as far as we can tell, are just birds. They're not government spies, they're not recording devices, they're just birds. But remember, this is just our take on the theory. If you've got a different perspective, we're all ears. Or should we say, all beaks. So, next time you see a bird, remember, it's probably just looking for food, not spying on you. But hey, if you've got a better theory, don't hold back. Share it in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe for more conspiracy theory debunking. Moon landing theory, you're next.